But after leaving the classroom, because like she said, my personality, my demeanor, whatever, I realized it wasn't me, but it was God. Because nobody could say in the classroom 37 plus years.
Wow.
And no child ever struck me. They may have said some inappropriate things under their breath, but I just thank God that I was, was able to teach for 37 plus years.
Amen.
But it was him, not me.
Amen.
Brenda and Sylvia, I do not like standing before groups, and Chiquita and the prophet and Marissa knew that. And they asked me to speak. And for some reason, I don't know, I said yes. I was scheduled not to be here. I have a sister who had surgery this week, and I have a 97-year-old mother who needs some assistance. So I was going to go home, which is Washington, Georgia, to be there because it's going to take her 6 to 8 weeks to recover. And then she'll continue to care for our mother. But I called her. I said, Brenda, would you be upset if I not come home? She said, of course, girl, you just stay because what can you do, just stay. So I'm grateful to be here. Let me just tell you a little bit about my family history. I have a brother who in 2005 died of cancer. He had prostate cancer that metastasized. In 2010, a younger sister of mine had been dealing with cancer for like 17 years, and she passed away of complications from probably the treatment that she had received. She had cervical cancer. She was an amazing woman. I retired. I worked August of 2010 and decided to retire. And in September, the 1st of September, my sister Lee went into the hospital, and I was there to be with her. I was able to be with her 2 months.
Amen.
But she taught me so much. She was such a powerful woman. And when a physician said, there's nothing I can do, she was not sad or anything. She just endured. She was just there. I mean, she was still involved in TV and conversations and whatever. I remember one time what happened was when she had cervical cancer, they treated her with radiation vaginally. And as a result of that, she began hemorrhaging. And so that's what happened. She would just flow. And we didn't ever know when the blood would just come out. She was always coming. She said, I'm bleeding. And then some young nurses came in, student nurses. She said, they can't handle this. Of course, they thought they could because they hadn't witnessed it before. And they had to call in some more people to assist. And that went on several times before she passed. And one time, prior to a procedure, we called Miss Richard, Mother Richard, to sing. And my sister thought it was a recording. Joyce happened to be home. If you know Joyce, she's always out and about, and she was home. So she took a keyboard out. I don't even remember the name of the song. That's right. That's such a beautiful song. That was her favorite song. And Joyce played it. And she said, I thought that was a recording. She blessed my sister. And my sister, and I know it's not all about my sister, but I just want to give you some background. She's just so amazing. She was such an amazing woman. One time she had a procedure that was to be done. And if you know, with hospitals, things don't go as scheduled. And so she sent someone out from the medical staff to see if I were okay. Here she was. And so she taught me a great deal.
Amen.
And I think that's why along with God, why I feel the way I do. So I had a brother, a sister who passed because of cancer. Within the last 2 years, my baby sister was diagnosed with breast cancer. The sister next to me was diagnosed with cervical uterine cancer. So cancer in our family. Eventually, we all had a DNA testing. Our test shows that we're BRCA2 positive, which means that we're susceptible to breast cancer, cervical cancer, ovarian cancer, pancreatic cancer. So I had a hysterectomy, I think in 2015 or 16, I don't remember. So anyway, just trying to get ahead of cancer. In 1999, I had breast cancer that was not localized, which meant that my lymph nodes tested positive for cancer. In 2004, I had breast cancer in the other breast, and it was called early. Again, BRCA2 positive, all of my physicians were informed. So in June, I think it was, of this year, I went to see my PCP, my primary care physician. And I love this guy, and he, touches my abdomen. And he became alarmed because he felt something that wasn't there, he said 4 months ago. So he immediately ordered a CT scan, go over to Piedmont Hospital to have that done. And he calls my oncologist. He said, "This is very serious." But anyway, so the medical report was, I have pancreatic cancer stage 4 and 6 to 9 months to live. That's man's report.
Yes.
That's man's report. My nephew called and he said, "Auntie, it took family a minute, to get adjusted to this news." So my nephew called, he said, "Auntie, I know what they say, but what does God say?" So we're still waiting to hear from him. This is not a bad journey. I don't know how I'm supposed to feel physically. I give God all the praise because of the energy I have, the appetite I have. I've experienced a great deal of weight loss because according to my niece, the invader, the uninvited guest, needs nourishment as well. So what I eat, it wants to survive. So it takes on some of the nourishment. Again, this journey has not been bad. I am having treatment, and my church family has been so wonderful.
Amen.
And I appreciate that very much.
Amen.
So supportive. Intercessory prayers. I got flowers. I got food. And I appreciate that. And the prayers, the prayers, the prayers, the prayers. Our family has truly been affected. I have 3 sons. And Andrew, the youngest, was with me when I saw my endocrinologist. And she was looking, how everything is connected. They can pull up from other whatever. But I had a procedure done where they put a scope down his stomach because I was the doctor, my PCP was concerned with the weight loss. And so when that doctor, the gastrologist, came in after the procedure, he didn't hug me, but he said, "Enjoy your life." He'd never said that before. So looking back, I think that was a coded message. Because when we went to the endocrinologist who deals with my diabetes and thyroid problem, and I was having issues with the glucose reading because steroids is what I take during chemo. Yeah, it just elevated it. So, and she was looking, she is the PA, she was looking at my record there, and she said, and she was shocked because I do go to the doctors regularly. She said, "Your gastrologist should have seen this. It's uninvited guest." Of course, Andrew got upset. He didn't say anything, but he told my oldest son, who happens to be a lawyer. And so I think he was thinking, well, maybe we ought to do something legally against this guy. But I told him, I've forgiven him because really he was the one who was supposed to monitor the pancreas. I said, I can't go to my grave with unforgiveness. I've carried a lot of unforgiveness in my heart for a long time. So, I don't see this as a bad thing. I really don't. Because God needed my attention and he got it. I've also learned that I've been existing and not living. I am now living, people.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
My grandson and I went to North Carolina for a few days. Normally I would have said no, no, no. My sister who lives in Augusta, free trip, free transportation. You don't even have to pay for the room. So I said, sure, I will be there.
Amen. Amen.
Next week we're going to Lansing, Michigan to visit our youngest